Have you ever found yourself just scrolling endlessly, looking at health stuff online, or maybe standing in front of a shelf packed with supplements, just feeling completely lost? You're trying to do the right thing for your health, right? But wading through all that information, all the marketing, it's tough. And trying to know if what you're actually doing is making a difference for you, that's even harder. And then there's the cost. Is it actually worth the money? So today, in this deep dive, our mission is really to explore this, innovative tool. It's designed to cut through that exact confusion, to help you answer those really critical questions. Is my health plan working for me? And, is it worth what I'm spending?
That hits the nail on the head for so many people. It's a real challenge. And for this deep dive, yeah, we've done a pretty thorough look at this intelligent health companion app called tracksups. Our source material, it includes detailed feature lists, screenshots showing how it looks in action, and really importantly, a deep dive into the philosophy behind it. So we're going to unpack how tracksups takes maybe a uniquely empowering approach to managing your own health. It goes way beyond just logging stuff. It tries to put the control back in your hands.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that, because before we even jump into the cool features and how it works day to day, what really jumped out at me from the sources was this foundational thinking behind tracksups. It's not just an other health app, is it? It feels like it's built on something, pretty different.
Absolutely. The sources, they consistently point to three core principles that really make tracksups stand out. And they tackle some of the biggest worries people have about health data today. First, and this is huge, is privacy first. What this means is all your sensitive health information, it stays right there, locally, on your own device. No accounts to sign up for, no automatic cloud sync sending your data off somewhere. And crucially, they make a big point of this, absolutely no selling your data. In today's world where you're always wondering who's got your info, keeping your health journey private like that, that's a massive difference.
Yeah, that is huge. Just for peace of mind, knowing that your most personal health details aren't, floating around on some server somewhere. What are the other two big ideas then?
So the next one is being research-driven. The app isn't just about collecting numbers. It actively encourages you, the user, to build your own base of trusted knowledge. It's about getting past the marketing buzzwords or, random advice online and making choices based on solid research you've done, equipping you to be your own health advocate, basically. And the third one is data-informed insights. This is where it all kind of comes together. It helps you connect the dots, between the supplements you take, how you're actually feeling, what you're eating, your activity, even how much you're spending. It's about empowering you with your data, letting you see trends, maybe surprising connections you'd completely miss otherwise. Like maybe you finally figure out that tiredness isn't just stress, but it lines up perfectly with a dip in your heart rate variability, your HRV.
HRV, right. That measures how well your body's handling stress, yeah.
Exactly. It's a great indicator of your nervous system's resilience, how you're recovering. So maybe you see your HRV drops every time you have a certain late-night snack. Or you realize that expensive supplement isn't actually budging your blood glucose numbers. It kind of forces you to look at your own data and see what's really happening.
That connection to real-world results is really powerful. Okay, so we've talked about the why, this shift towards personal empowerment and privacy. But how does that translate into the how? How do you actually use this thing day to day? How does tracksups help you track your body, your activities, all that stuff?
Right, the practical side. It really starts with the dashboard and the vitals sections. Think of the dashboard as your daily control panel. It's designed to be super easy to use, quick add buttons for logging everything your weight, exercise details, what you ate. You can even upload progress photos. The goal is speed, so it fits into your day without feeling like a burden.
And the vitals section, that lets you get really specific, right? Beyond just weight and steps. You can customize it. Precisely. You can set up and track a whole range of vitals, whatever matters for your specific health goals. So yes, the common stuff. Heart rate, blood pressure, body temp. But also more specialized things. We mentioned heart rate variability, HRV. It also handles blood glucose, SpO2, that's blood oxygen, which is interesting for sleep or intense exercise. Body fat percentage, various body measurements like waist size, chest size, whatever you need. And importantly, it also lets you track more subjective things like your mood and stress levels, even specific biomarkers like testosterone. Each vital has its own kind of specialized input screen, making it easy to log the right kind of data accurately.
Okay, so you're capturing all this detailed info, these vitals. How does tracksups then pull that together so it actually means something? How do those numbers become useful? Good question. So all that data you log feeds into two key places, the diary and the tracker. The diary is basically your complete history. Everything you've logged, supplements, food, workouts, vitals, all laid out chronologically. You can view it by day, week, or month. And it gives you daily nutritional summaries too, like calories and macros, right there. Then, the tracker takes that data and visualizes it. That's where you see the trends. Imagine seeing a line graph of your weight steadily going down, or maybe a bar chart showing your macro breakdown each day. It turns those raw numbers into clear visual progress. Or maybe lack of progress, which is just as important to know, helps you understand your body's responses.
Okay, this next part sounds really interesting, especially thinking about that research-driven idea. How does tracksups help you become like your own expert? How does it help you cut through all the confusing, sometimes conflicting health info out there, especially with supplements? Because man, that world can feel like the Wild West sometimes.
It really can feel that way. And it brings up a huge question for people. Who do you trust? What information is reliable? tracksups tackles this directly with several modules: research, journal, watch list, and brands and substances. The research tool is pretty neat. It's an AI-powered search engine built right into the app. But the key thing is, it backs up its answers with sources, so you can quickly get info on a health topic or a supplement, see where it came from, all without leaving the app.
So it's like having your own personal research librarian for health stuff, helping you avoid those sketchy websites and giving you sourced information.
Kinda, yeah. Think of it like your external brain for health info, but when you curate yourself. Anything useful you find you can save directly to your personal journal. So you build up this library of trusted articles, notes, links, whatever. And here's something really specific from the sources that highlights this research focus. It includes entries on what they call killer fillers.
Killer fillers, what's that about?
It's about flagging potentially problematic ingredients, often found lurking in supplements. Things that might technically be allowed by regulators, but some research or health advocates raise concerns about. For example, it mentions propylene glycol, sometimes used to keep things moist, but it's synthetic and raises flags for some. Or sodium benzoate, a preservative that, under specific conditions with vitamin C, could form benzene, which is a carcinogen. Also, DHA, a synthetic antioxidant with potential endocrine disruption worries. Titanium dioxide, used for whitening but linked in some studies to gut inflammation. And talc, a filler sometimes controversially associated with asbestos. The app notes that while regulators deem them safe at certain levels, there's debate, and it encourages you to look really closely at ingredient lists.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's really going beyond just the main active ingredients. It's prompting you to look at the whole formulation. It's not saying never take this, but more like be aware, do your own homework. How does flagging those fillers actually help someone just glancing at a label?
It makes you stop and think, doesn't it? You might see propylene glycol and just skim past it usually. But if the app flags it based on concerns you've researched or noted in your journal, you might pause and ask, do I really want this in my body every day? Does this align with my goals? It encourages that deeper level of scrutiny. And yeah, you can link these journal entries about fillers or studies or anything directly to the supplements and individual substances you track in the app. On the substances page, you can actually classify compounds yourself: favorable, unfavorable, neutral. Maybe note down the RDA or your target dose. So when you look at a supplement's ingredient list within the app, you see your own ratings instantly. Plus, there's a brands page. You can mark brands as trusted, avoided, or neutral. Add notes like great third-party testing or warning uses lots of fillers. These ratings then show up as little visual cues everywhere in the app.
Okay, so let's say I'm considering a new supplement. I can use these tools to really investigate it thoroughly before I even think about buying it. Check the brand reputation I've noted, look up the ingredients against my favorable, unfavorable list, see if it contains any of those killer fillers I'm wary of.
That is exactly what the watch list feature is for. It's like a sandbox or a pre-purchase research area. You can add potential supplements there without adding them to your main library. You can log prices from different shops to compare cost per serving. Really useful for smart shopping. And it even has a built-in AI comparison feature. This AI looks at everything you've logged about it, your brand rating, your ingredient ratings, the prices, any linked journal research, and it gives you a detailed side-by-side comparison with other options on your watch list, plus a recommendation based on your criteria. Then if you decide, yep, this is the one, you can promote it right from the watch list into your main supplement list, and it even logs a first purchase for you.
That AI integration sounds incredibly powerful. So beyond the research and comparisons, how else does tracksups use AI? How does it help make sense of all the personal data I'm logging, my vitals, my diary entries?
Right, the AI assistant, this uses Google's Gemini, and it's designed to be a conversational chat interface. What makes it different is that it has context. It knows about your supplements, your recent diary logs, food, exercise, feelings, and all your research notes in the journal. So you can ask it really specific, complex questions about your data. Things like, compare my average calorie intake on days I lifted weights versus days I did cardio this past month. Or, are there any patterns between when I take supplement X and my reported stress levels? It basically acts like your personal data analyst, turning all those numbers and logs into insights specific to you.
That sounds like having a data scientist in your pocket. Seriously useful. And I think I saw something about a meal calculator, too, for nutrition estimates.
Yes, exactly. The meal calculator is another AI tool focused on convenience. You can just describe your meal in plain English, like, I had garlic mushrooms, some garlic bread, spaghetti carbonara, tiramisu for dessert, and shared a bottle of Chianti. The AI then gives you a quick nutritional breakdown, calories, macros for each part of that meal. You can then log that straight to your diary or even schedule it in your plan for later. It just makes tracking food intake much faster than manually looking everything up.
So the overall theme here seems to be making both planning and tracking super easy, right? Integrating it smoothly so it doesn't feel like a huge chore, but still gives you powerful insights.
That's the idea. The plan feature helps automate things too. It can automatically schedule your supplement doses based on the frequencies you set up so you get reminders. You can also manually add workouts, meals, or just general goals like drink more water to your daily plan. And here's a neat efficiency trick. If you check off something you planned, like taking that vitamin D dose or eating that planned lunch, it automatically logs it in your diary for you. Less double entry. Plus, the whole system has pretty robust inventory tracking for your supplements. It logs your purchases, costs, and calculates how much supply you have left, giving you a heads up when you're running low.
Okay, that brings up a practical point. We talked about privacy first, everything local, but what about switching phones? Or maybe wanting to see my data on a tablet or computer sometimes? How do you move data around if it's not using the cloud? That's often a big hassle with local-only apps.
That's a really important consideration, and tracksups addresses it with its data management section. While it is fundamentally local first for privacy, it offers something called merge from backup. This isn't just restoring an old file over the new one, it's smarter. It intelligently compares a backup file, say from your phone, with the data currently on another device, like your computer. It checks for duplicates and merges the information, bringing everything up to date without losing data or creating messy copies. This merge function is designed as the main way to keep your data synced across your devices, phone to computer, old phone to new phone, without ever needing cloud storage or compromising that core privacy principle. You stay in full control. So if we step back and look at the whole picture, tracksups really feels like it's aiming to be a personal health command center. It's this incredibly comprehensive tool built not just to passively log what you did, but to actively empower you, to research, to understand, and then to really evaluate if your health habits, your supplements, your spending, if it's all actually working for you and makes sense financially. It really does try to shift the balance of power, putting the insight back with the individual.
Yeah, what really resonates with me is how it helps you become your own expert, in a way. Using your own data combined with smart AI to build real confidence in the choices you make for your health. It feels like it could turn that feeling of being overwhelmed by health information into something much more focused and actionable. Tailored just for you. It's about getting clarity, isn't it? Knowing if the effort you put in and the money you spend is actually having the impact you want on your well-being.
Absolutely. And that really leads to a final thought, maybe a question for you, the listener. We live in a world just saturated with health advice, endless products, everyone telling you what to do. How might using a tool like this one that puts your data, your research, your unique body responses front and center, how might that actually change the way you approach your own health and well-being? What questions about your current routine, things you've maybe wondered about for ages, could it finally help you answer? What connections might you discover about yourself that you never expected?